Chef T's garden. Going to give a little garden update for the month of July. I'm a little late this month, but better late than never. So we're going to start over here in the flower bed, which is looking pretty pitiful. All my wildflower butterfly mix is on this side with the cosmos. There's a few zinnias in there, still kind of hanging in there. I planted a coral fountain amaranth in this pot, trying to see if I can get it to grow without all of the slugs and roly-polies getting inside the dirt. It seems to be doing okay and got a couple buds on there. Over here, more zinnias, which are looking pretty bad because they're getting very leggy, considering the fact I didn't remember to top them when I planted them, so that's why they're all quite so tall. And this is the in-ground roselle, which you see still hasn't grown much. I still have a nasturtium hanging on over here. The rose bush did get one other bloom, but that one has died off. The dichondra is still growing and creeping almost down to the ground now. Over here, I had some empty side on the brick, so I pulled the tops off of some of my coleus and planted them in there. My lavender isn't looking too good at the moment. I gave it some fertilizer. We'll see if it comes back. This dwarf marigold, which is kind of overshadowing the, what is this? Round zucchini in this one. That's my mint, which is looking kind of bad. The heat was not nice to it. That's my chocolate mint over there, and my eucalyptus over there, and rosemary. I have to refill my hummingbird feeder. This is the butterfly pea, which is finally seeming to take off, and I have some flowers on there that I need to pull for some tea. The soybeans are coming in a little bit. These are a bush bean. Which one are these? Dwarf horticultural beans on there. I don't have any buds on that one yet. That is the kohlrabi, which I will insert a clip on that one. Well, I don't know if you can see this clearly with this netting on here, but I just want to point out that this cover has been on this plant since it was planted into this grow bag, and it's still managed to get inside and live. It's never been open to the elements since it's been in here, but here we go. I'm going to go ahead and let it stay in there, since this is a kohlrabi and it didn't bulb at all, so I have really no use for this plant. So I'm going to go ahead and let it stay in here. I'd rather it eat this than my other plants. These are my Ideal Market pole beans growing up here. They're looking decently enough, but for some reason I only have one bean on this plant. I've got plenty of flowers, but no more have turned into beans yet. And the flowers have been on there for over a week, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. This was Queenie Lime Red zinnia, which I also didn't top because I didn't think about it, so that one's kind of leggy. These are the zinnias that I got from Haas in the plugs. I have a second round of squash going. That one is straight neck, which if you see, is not seeming to be doing too good. This is a mixture of flowers. Some more of the Profusion from Haas. I can't remember what that plant is called. And then this one is a pink bachelor button that I've put in here. It's just a little combination of flowers that I didn't have any place for, so I just kind of stuck them in there. And that's a little creeping Jenny in that one also. These are my Gold Rush beans. I've pulled off of here several times, and there are some beans on here somewhere. There's a couple over here. About to get entangled with this cucumber, but some more down there. Not sure how much more I'll get off of here before it's time to pull them. And my okra plant's still growing. I have pulled a few pods off of here, and I've got a couple more coming in on a few of these. In the front planter, I replanted a bait alpha in the back over here. This is a Marconi red pepper. This is a California Wonder pepper, marigold back there, and sweet bell blend. I'm not sure if any of the bells are gonna get big enough to produce anything before I have to pull them. And over here I've got a lemon cucumber. In this one, doing a second round of cucumbers in here too. I replaced the Diva, and now I have the Richmond green apple in here. I have plenty of male flowers but no female flowers yet, so we'll see what happens with that one. It's already up to the top. I was having a cucumber beetle problem, so I covered it until at least I start showing some signs of some female flowers, and then I'll pull it off. And that's just some Alyssum along with the Alyssum that's in the front of this bed. Okay, you noticed I have pulled quite a few of the tomato plants because they were looking so bad because of all of the heat. So I've put some new ones in. The only ones I haven't taken out yet are the Super Sweet 100 and the Sun Sugar, which I am going to be pulling soon. I'm going to put a Sweetie cherry tomato in that one. In this square right here, I just have another Profusion zinnia and some marigolds, which I need to deadhead, some Alyssum. Same in this bed, except for I have a Poblano, which did not do well with the heat. Still deciding whether or not I'm going to keep it on here or go ahead and pull it, because even though it has cooled down, I'm not seeing any new buds or flowers or anything coming up on here, so I might go ahead and pull it. I've got some onions in here just to help deter pests. I'm not really expecting anything out of those. Those were the onion sets that you get in the bag at the big box store. I have finally started getting some flowers off of my calendula, which I was surprised and not expecting. This is where the Cherokee tomato and the genuine beefsteak was, and I transplanted a orange strawberry tomato plant in this one. Over here I've got my Roma tomato to replace the Romas that were in here before. I had previously put two in the same section, and I decided I'm going to try them spread out a little bit more, so this empty spot here is ready for my other Roma that is almost ready to come outside. It was already out of hydroponics. I just had to transplant it in dirt, let it get used to that, and then bring it out after I get it used to the sun. This one is also ready for San Marzano, which in this spot I had the Lemon Boy and the San Marzano before, and those have been pulled. This one's ready to go. In here I have, I believe they're parsnips, yeah, which are almost ready to pull, but I'm not really seeing anything. I'm not sure if it's like beets or carrots where you're supposed to see shoulders at the top. At the moment, I'm not seeing any shoulders. And I've got oregano in this bed. Over here, I've got parsley here, and then I planted some beans in this bed. This one is more dwarf horticultural beans here, and on this side I put some lima beans for drying, but I had a really bad like roly-poly situation going on here. I was pulling 9-10 out of here a day, and they were just eating the plants up. So I ended up having to put some 7 in here to kill them off, because I kept pulling and they just kept coming and eating the plants up. So I had to replant. So I've got some more coming up now on this one, and hopefully those will make it. This one over here, I've got, that is hanging on to my eggplant. Over here, those are still those okras that I planted back in, I don't know, March or April, which still haven't grown anymore. I just decided not to pull them out. I'll wait till the end of the season. And these are 2 of my eggplant. The white eggplant still going with the baby on there, and the other one, I've got a new one coming in on this one. I didn't have anything producing on a lot of these plants during the heat, that heat wave that we had. And this is another close-up of the butterfly pea. This is the same zucchini plant that I planted back in, I believe, March or so, and it is still hanging on. I am not really, it's still bringing out a few flowers, if you can see them, but I'm not seeing any female, just male. There's one here, but I'm not sure if that's going to get pollinated. I'm going to give this one another week or so and see what it's doing. If it doesn't do anything, I might go ahead and pull that one and get that out of here and plant a new plant. On this side over here, I've got a Romanesco squash growing on this one. I put in a couple more okra on this side. This one's kind of facing the sun a little better, so I wanted to see if anything was going to grow over here. Oh, and that's my eucalyptus, which is looking pretty good. Okay, over here are 2 jalapeno plants, which I just cut off some fruit that were growing on there a couple days ago. It's not looking too good at this point, so I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to keep these in. I might go ahead and pull them, because you can see it's also, the leaves aren't looking too good, and even though I've been fertilizing, they're just not seeming to snap out of it, so I might pull those. I have a Megatron jalapeno inside. I might go ahead and transplant into here after I pull these out, because there are no new flowers or buds on there. The sweet potato bed is looking like it's almost time to pull those pretty soon. I think I have maybe 2-3 more weeks on there, and I don't know if you can see, but you can see in some spots where it looks like there's something growing down there, because I have some kind of, looks like they're busting, like they're wanting to bust out of the dirt. So hopefully I'll get something good out of there. And that's my roselle. It's looking a lot better than the one in the flower bed, but I was still hoping it would be bigger by now. I still have no calyx or anything growing on this one either, but I wasn't really expecting them until the end of August or September, so hopefully it'll give it a little bit more time to grow and get a little bit bigger so I can get some more calyx. This one is my Serrano and Cayenne. The Cayenne are looking pretty good. I've harvested some red ones off of here already, and as if you can see, this one is turning, so this one should be ready to pull soon. I just cut some off of this Serrano, and right now there's a couple more growing right there, so I guess I'll keep that one in there. Now we come over to raised bed number 2. I added, after I pulled the bait alpha out of here, I'm trying the Space Master 80 in here just to see if it's going, how big it'll get. So I was actually wanted to try some inside growing a cucumber like I have the tomatoes, but I needed to see how big it's going to get. I have put in some green yard long beans over here. I only see that 3 of them popped up. This is the African marigold, which is quite tall, a lot taller than I thought, but there's still no flowers on it yet. Over here, the red noodle yard long beans are coming up, going a little slow, but thought they would have taken off with the heat, but they didn't. Over here are my pink eye. I've harvested a few pods off here already. I think I showed those in the short, and they're still going up, up, and up. This is one of my borage plants, and I've got a couple flowers on there and some more buds coming in. I think I'm gonna have to secure this so it doesn't break off next time we have a storm. Raised bed number 1, front side. This is another shishito pepper, and I've already been harvesting off of this one too, and you see I have several coming in on here. This is another shishito that I just transplanted maybe 2 days ago. This my sugar baby watermelon, and that's what that one's looking like. It's already bigger than the ones that I grew in the Vego planter, so I know next time either do a better job thinning them out to where I don't have so many fruit on one plant. This one is my orange yellow watermelon, which is going kind of slow. I don't know if I'm gonna get anything off of this before it gets too cold. Jolly Jester marigold. This is my lemon drop pepper, which I've got some coming in and a lot of buds. I think I counted about 30 the other day, but if you can see, there's peppers coming in on here. This is my other Serrano, which is looking much better than the one that I got back in March, so I'm glad I started another one, and I've got peppers growing on here. This is a honeydew melon, which got planted kind of late, and as you can see, it's growing kind of slow. I had to put the seed in 3 times. On to the back side of raised bed number 1, Armenian cucumber, which also thought was supposed to do well in the heat, which does not seem to be doing that much either, or growing very fast. And my black cherry tomato is all the way up here. I've got some flowers on it, and I think I saw a tomato on here earlier, but I'm not seeing it right now. I know I saw it, but now I can't see it, but it does have flowers coming in. I've tickled them already. Over here, this one's just a French dwarf. Basil's not doing much. It's been in here over a month, and that's about as big as it's gotten. Over here is a sucker that I pulled off of the Cherokee tomato that I pulled out of the other bed and transplanted. So this one is doing okay. Next to it is cucamelon. As you see, it's kind of taking over, vining all over the place. And there are a few of them growing over here, so I'm kind of excited to see what those are going to be like. I don't know if you can see it. There's my little black cherry tomato going on right there. Back side of raised bed 2. This is my pineapple tomato, which is growing kind of up there, and I've got some flowers on there. Some of them have died off and some of them are still hanging in there. That heat wave kind of just stopped a couple days ago, so hopefully that one will bounce back okay and produce something, because this is the one that I put in about a month and a half ago, so if I had waited a couple weeks, maybe it would have done a little bit better. Some basil in here, French marigold, more sour looking basil, more sour looking basil. I pulled the tomatillo plants out because they weren't doing a thing but growing tall. This is a second pineapple tomato. That was my backup, so I decided to go ahead and put that in there, and we'll see which one does better. I have expanded, if you hadn't noticed. This is a new 4x2 raised bed. This one I decided to see if I could try to get a round of peaches and cream corn. I just planted it yesterday. I have to get the irrigation set up on these 2 beds. And on this one I just planted today, this is another okra. I think it was cowhorn okra. It's only have 55 days for full maturity, so I'm hoping I can get some okra on here before it gets too late. On this side is my lemongrass. It's looking kind of brown at the base. I'm not sure why, but I did fertilize it today. I cut off of it maybe about a week ago because it was getting kind of big. Over here is some thyme that I transplanted out of that bed where the lima beans were. And this is my moringa plant, which I grew. I started out in the hydroponics, and it's looking pretty good so far. This is, as you can see, my ground cherries are still, it's still producing. Been picking off of it for a while, but as you can see, the leaves are not looking all that great, so I'm not sure how much longer this plant is going to last, but I will let it go until it dies. On my green stock, looking pretty good. This is a Rosita eggplant, which just has its first flower on here. Lemon balm is looking pretty good. These are the strawberries that I grew from seed. They're starting to come back because I did have the Space Master here, and it grew so big it covered up my strawberries, and they just looked really, really bad a few weeks ago. They're starting to bounce back finally. I had a little few buds on here. I need to go ahead and pull those off. I had, what did I have in there? Dwarf Siberian kale in that one that the cabbage moths tore up. So I pulled those a few days ago. This is the little leaf cucumber. I decided to give this one a shot to see how big this one is going to get, to see if either one of these would be suitable for growing indoors. I might just have to forget about cucumbers in the winter. My Thai basil, which I've cut off of, and this one is the Genovese basil. Over here I've got lemon basil, which also had gotten covered up by the cucumber, but these marigolds are kind of shading out now, so I'll be taking at least this big bush out. It's humongous and there's no flowers on it. Dark green parsley is looking good. My dill is still going, which survived the heat wave. Let's see, one of my dwarf tomatoes over here. Let me move this out. And I don't know if this is the orange hat or the Tiny Tim because I can't get to it right now. I just spun it, so I don't want to spin it again. The Zinca's doing well. I just deadheaded some of the zinnias that obviously, again, leggy because I didn't think to top them. This is dwarf petunias. I had a few flowers come off there. This one's dying back. This one is the orange hat, so the other one was the Tiny Tim. Over here we've got the dwarf polka dot bachelor button. A lot of greenery, but no flowers on this one. And more zinnias over here. Tokyo long white bunching onions are doing all right. And this is my catnip, which I've cut off of a couple times and dehydrated for tea. And there are my pretty coleus. They look so good. I love the spots on this leaf instead of just this one. While I love my purple and it looks really good in this green stock, I just love the one with the spots. This one was where the sugar baby watermelon were. I've pulled them up. I'm getting ready to put another determinate tomato in here. That's my second borage plant. Some more profusion zinnias from Haas. My 2 pineapples are looking decent. And over here I've got the sunburst hybrid squash. Got a lot of male flowers, but still no females on there yet. But there's 2 in here. Same thing goes with this one. Bunch of male flowers. No females yet, but they've only been in here for, let's see, June 10th is the date on that one. And as you can see, the strawberry plant is still producing these little bitty things. This is probably the biggest one that's popped up yet. They're getting a little bit bigger the further in the season they go. It did not like the heat, but it stays underneath this umbrella at all times. These are a couple of my transplants out of hydroponics. I'm keeping them out of the sun. This is my sweetie tomato that I'm going to transplant when I take out the other cherry tomatoes that are still going. It's another dwarf. That's another dwarf marigold, and this one is something I transplanted out of this bed, which we're about to get into. I think, what is this one? Feverfew was what was down there. And okay, so that was Feverfew down there in the middle. This is the elevator raised bed raised up. I'll start on this side. This is an echinacea that I did hydroponically. We'll see what that one does. Chinese celery right here. This is my Feverfew, and you see there's a couple flowers coming off of that one. My broadleaf sage and my toothache plant. These are so interesting to me. It's about time for me to cut some of these off. This bed has been, I was infested with ants and aphids, so I had to spray it down and put 7 and all kinds of stuff in here, and it took a couple applications to get it down. And this one is my straw flower, which looks like it's not gonna make it in here because it looks like it wants to grow outside. It's already to the top, if you can see, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to pull that out and plant these outside in a container so they'll have more room to grow, but I'll try that again in the spring. Greenhouse is pretty much empty at this point. The only thing I have in here right now is some pulled these out of the genuine beefsteak that I pulled out of the other bed. So I've got some roots going on here. I haven't decided if I'm going to plant them yet, but I do have them. Pink Swiss chard, looking kind of limp. I just gave them some fertilizer. Now, they've been getting plenty of water, so I'm not sure why they're limp like that. This is my turmeric in here. Getting some of the leaves are starting to turn a little yellow, so I'm not sure how much longer I'll have to keep them in there. Oh, look, there's another little baby one in there. This is my ginger. Leaves are starting to die on these too, so I'm guessing it won't be long before I will have to pull those. I think they're supposed to last until September, though. I'm gonna have to go check my Seed Time app just to see what the date is supposed to be on these. The hostas that my dad sent to me are not doing too well, and it took me a while to figure out why. Sun is killing them, so I'm going to have to transplant them in the fall. I don't want to move them again right now. If I can keep them alive until fall, I will move them. This is the other one, also not looking so great. This is another marigold. This one is the Kilimanjaro white marigold. I just transplanted them maybe the 2nd of July. It's grown pretty decently, but I still have no flowers on that one. This one is my Coxcomb Tornado Red Celosia. I have a few buds coming off of here. I was hoping this one's going to get a little bit bigger also. And then I had another extra profusion zinnia from Haas, so I planted it here because the bachelor button that I wanted to plant there did not grow very well in the hydroponics, so I went on ahead and put those here. And just show the potted plants that I have on the front porch. I just have more in here. We got Creeping Jenny in this one, and some more of my little pretty greenery on this one. And my mom, for some reason, likes artificial plants, so those are not real. And on this one, I've got some more in here with more Creeping Jenny, and I think this one also has I can't remember what those are. Lamb's ear, I think. So that was my attempt to try to decorate the front porch a little bit more so it doesn't look so plain. And that's that. This rock bed is where I'm planning on transplanting the hostas to on the back side, because it gets more shade during the day, not as much direct sun as the other on the side of the house. And I also plan on putting a tall potted plant over here by the stairs. Well, that is my garden tour for the month of July. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more on time for the month of August and not so late. I am hoping that the zinnia that I have growing inside, I want to take up this little section right here and pull this up and put those in there and try to top them like I'm supposed to and see if I can get those to grow well. But let me show you these pretty flowers. I can't remember which zinnia these are, but those are the bigger variety. And then I've got one more over here. I did transplant another sunflower, which I started in hydroponics because I wanted to see if it could grow. And that's what that one's looking like. That one was started inside. I don't know how it's going to do. You can see it's already being eaten up by pests, but we'll see. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your weekend or week, and happy gardening.